shaken child, children with mother who drinks alcohol through the pregnancy, and these children require constant care, and kind of a little bit invisible. I bet people who live here drive past this building thousands of times. The numbers of kids in there that need this help, it's just, it's pretty heavy really.
So I'm Ian Morris, I'm the founder of Together for Cinema. We try to install cinema rooms into children's hospices, and we bring the cinema into their home, into their venue, into their comfortable place. And these kids are having a tough time, so they're not able to get to the cinema. Some of the medical needs and some of the issues are not suitable to go to a cinema. So we bring the cinema to them. Because one of the things that I learned very quickly about children's hospices is they're not sad places. They cannot be sad places. Every second has to be a sparkle, has to be a smile, has to be an action or activity. Bringing the cinema into the hospice gives the children and their parents and their siblings the chance just to relax and to lose themselves, hopefully, for an hour and a half while they tuck into a movie or watch a football match, or even if they game or whatever they might do, karaoke, whatever this AV equipment can deliver. It just gives them the opportunity to, just maybe forget for a moment of the situation they're in. Chris, how are you, mate?
How you doing? Good to
see you. Well?
Yeah, I'm really well.
Good.
Going on the beach.
Come on, let's go. You fit?
Yes. As fit as I've ever been.
Not as fit as you're going to be. So Chris, today you're going to come to a place called Rose Road Association and see our 27th Together for Cinema room that we've installed. It's actually not a children's hospice, it's a venue for sort of respite care for disabled children and kids who are autistic and young adults as well. And I have to say, the first time I went to a children's hospice and engaged with them about what Together for Cinema could do, I found it very tough. And I think the first 3 or 4 I went to, sort of got out, went to the car, and it actually just broke down because it was so moving and so quite intense. Giving this now to a hospice and really making a difference to those kids' lives is huge. We used every day, thousands of kids and so on.
I just think cinema is a type of medicine in itself.
Absolutely.
Whether it's so transporting, it transports you to different worlds, different places, totally envelops your mind so that you're not thinking about anything else. And so I think it's a fantastic idea, and that's why I'm doing something quite idiotic to,
you really
to
are.
help with it.
Yeah, you keep doing it. Brilliant. Thank you for
the siblings, the parents, everyone can just forget everything.
Absolutely.
And watch the latest James Bond or whatever.
Absolutely. Anyone in that environment, it's a tough environment, as we know, but you sprinkle sparkles every second as best you can, and this is some more sparkles. Chris, thanks for your time. Good luck with everything.
No problem.
Appreciate it, and we'll be in touch soon.
After chatting with Ian, I headed to the Rose Road Cinema launch event, and that's where I met a fellow football fan called Ash. You can create a totally different world in it, can't you?
Definitely. So, and the good thing is, do you know what I mean? Like, if we'd be able to bring a few of our young people up, because obviously, where a few of our young people are in wheelchairs and stuff, trying to access the cinema, anything is hard work. Whereas having this here, they're going to be able to get up here and come and use it. That's when
you can get a spot right there, right in front of the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
And you put a big square in it that says Ash's seat. That's where you want to be. I might come back and watch the World Cup with you here. I don't think there's going to be a better space to watch it.
Definitely, yeah.
To be at the opening of this cinema is something a bit. It's like almost the opening of my cinema. It's like for disabled people.
You've got a child like with experience in there, and they make noises or they have strong reactions to what they're watching on the screen. You're probably going to feel uncomfortable about taking that child to a commercial cinema.
If that means having a film once a week in the morning for kids with autism, then that's a good idea.
But I was expecting seats in there, and then of course, the penny drops. Of course, there's no seats. It means that those kids have another opportunity to do an activity that every other kid has the opportunity to do as well.
Yeah, and it's a high value activity. It's not a passive activity. It's a high value sensory activity. It's the noise, the smells, the sounds. You think what high value, they can go to a football match maybe, or play bocce, or go for a walk in the countryside, but what high value experience can they have? Share it with their friends and family, their mums and dads, their brothers and sisters.
There's one day that's a double marathon, and most people finish at night, and the route is lit by the sort of snap fluorescent tube things. Yeah.
And do you know what the terrain is going to be like?
Well, there's mixture of sand dunes, gravel tracks, rocky, mountainous bits, and yeah.
Wow.
But because it's an international event, I think the competitive side of me will come out. Because you've got on your name badge it says what country you're from, so I'm not going to enjoy being overtaken by me, which I'm sure I will, to be honest.
I mean, running on sand, even walking on sand's difficult enough.
Yeah.
Running it, well, yeah. I do wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Oh man,
No, actually, this is a small team called Malvern Town. You like England?
Town, yeah.
Yeah, and this is Malvern Town. That's the team I support.
It's like your hometown, isn't it? Southampton.
Yeah, it's only a little team, but Southampton are quite a big team now. They used to be a bit smaller, but you got back up. You got back up there. So England are going to win the World Cup. Yeah, I think so. I think we got a chance.
We'll be booking. We're going to book that room, aren't we? For the football match. We're going to book the cinema room so we can watch it.
Yeah, that's where you're going to watch England win the World Cup. Yeah, definitely. 100%. You have like a vision in your mind's eye what a place like this is going to be like, and there's a few things I wasn't expecting. The number of children in electric chairs. I wasn't expecting the number of carers they need. So it's like pretty much one-to-one care, and I hadn't appreciated before that even if a commercial cinema like an Odeon or a View had specially adapted their cinema for big wheelchairs, you're not really going to want to take the child there anyway, because a lot of them make noises, need constant care, react verbally to what the stimulus is. So it just really showed how important these special cinemas in safe places where they can be themselves and have their carer right next to them, and they can wheel the chair in and watch the movie or whatever. It's 100% a need in all these sort of respite places or hospices or anywhere where there's children being cared for that are at have a life limited condition. And we watched the video in there. It was shaken children with mother who drink alcohol through the pregnancy, and these children require constant care, and kind of a little bit invisible from our day-to-day lives because they have to come to places like this. But why should places like this not offer the same experiences that we can have and enjoy in our everyday lives? So it's just even more resonating with me how important the Together for Cinema cause is. And we're saying 54 hospices, but how many respite centres are there? How many other venues could do with cinema? I'm going to have a lot of motivation to get me through those marathons in the desert. The foster parents, the parents who say, I'm willing to adopt a child, we have a child here, shaken baby, will have a life limited condition, will you take them in? And those parents say yes. well, we should support them and give them everything they need to ensure that their parenting of those life-limited children is it's never going to be easy, but it needs to be. They need to have tools and options and things they can do and places they can turn to when they need it. I bet people who live here drive past this building thousands of times, never really knowing what goes on in there. Well, I know what goes on in there now, and it's like blown my mind a bit.
So you feel inspired now for what you're
Definitely, and I feel like I feel more like now that I'm aware that this is the sort of the numbers of kids in there that need this help. It's just, yeah, it's pretty heavy, really.
So Chris doing 6 marathons in the Sahara, I can hardly even say it actually. It's I think it's incredible. It's not something I could even dream of, clearly. Slightly different physical shapes and positions, but I mean, hats off to Chris. It's a hell of a task to take on. The fact he's doing it for Together for Cinema moves me greatly, because it just proves that what Together for Cinema is doing is the phrase I use, is a pure and unquestionable good. So it is a great thing that we deliver, and for Chris to go to the extent of training incredibly hard for six marathons, you know, on the beach, in the heat, etc., etc. I mean, personally, I think he's bonkers, but I wish him 100, you know, all the very best in achieving it. And as I say, the fact he's raising money for Together for Cinema is hugely appreciated by myself, but most importantly by the kids, adults, siblings, young adults and siblings who are actually going to ultimately benefit. So yeah, hats off to Chris. It's a real pleasure to work with him on this.
This is the first video of a series charting my journey to the Sahara. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you feel compelled to donate towards my cause. Thank you.